One of the great things about doing this for so long, talking about music and talking about albums, is every once in a while you'll be approached by a record company or a record label asking them to review albums that they've helped produce, or even bands that are trying to get their start. I am always open to listening to them, and I'm always open to doing a review for them. So this is one of those cases where a band's approached me and asked me to listen to their album and let them know of my thoughts. So here we are. Hawaii by Isles. So Hawaii is the fourth studio album from this Chile progressive band that blend musical stylings. They're kind of categorized as a neo-prog band, but I would put them into more of like a modern take within their musical scene. And what we have here is another double disc concept album. This one being the destruction of Earth and the fallout of when we go to the stars and try to colonize there and trying to get back to the roots and really falling in love with that nostalgic idea of what Earth used to be and trying to get back to that. The music here has its ups and downs. There's some really great moments on this album and ones that I will kind of stop what I'm doing and listen along, but there are also some moments on here where I just do not connect at all. I don't know, it never really met the idea of what they were trying to achieve. It's one of those albums where the band is very passionate about the music that they're playing, but I don't know if it quite got to the level at which they were hoping to achieve on it. So the album opens up with a two-parter track, the first one, part one, being about 10 minutes, the other one being about 4, and I actually really like the second part of this song a little bit more. The first part of the song is a great introduction to the album in that it introduces where the album is going to go. It's kind of crazy at times. There's a lot of really strange things going on. I like the use of different sound effects within it. But really it's part 2 that I really grabbed onto. It felt more genuine. It felt more intimate on there, being a much more subdued song with just the lead singer and a little bit of background stuff going on. Actually, the highlight for me on this album is some of the looped music that's being played here. Think of like the second or third track from Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. That kind of an idea where it's this looped keyboard synthesized noise, almost akin to, say, The Sky Moves Sideways with Porcupine Tree. And I like that trip, and this is found on Year Zero, near the end part of the song. The only drawback is I wish they really developed that song and really played it out instead of cutting it really, really short. Upside Down, another track where I feel like they believe the music that they're playing is just amazing and groundbreaking and so great. And really it's just okay. There's a few parts, especially near the end of this track, where they're really building it up and they're really trying to make it great and really giving it, but it kind of translates at being a little bit silly and a little bit over the top. And I know that comes with the territory with prog music, so a lot of bands can be said for doing this. But here, even I'm kind of attuned to it. And the last song on the first album, because it is a double discer, the CH7, this song actually ends with my favorite part on this album. It's got that looped music that I was talking about before with Year Zero, but this kind of kicks it into a whole new gear, and I really enjoyed that play out. This is reminding me of, there was a song from Sid Arthur called Singularity, that's it. And it just brought my mind straight to that because it's so poignant and being so clearly realized. I really enjoyed that. The second disc I actually enjoy better, even though I believe the first disc has more points on it that I enjoy. Within the second song of A Pale Blue Dot, I love the rhythm section on this particular track. It's got such a great funky groove to it. I can't help but at least tap my foot along while I'm listening to it. And the next couple of songs of the Still Alive and Nostalgia, These songs blend very well together, and I like the interplay between the two. I like how Still Alive kind of brings up some concepts and themes that will be revisited within Nostalgia, whereas Nostalgia is more of like an instrumental piece with just a little bit of lyrics going on there, and Still Alive is much more of that kind of fun atmosphere. I like the dance that they have between the two. And Club Hawaii, kind of the almost title track, it's okay. I do like the introduction of this song. I like how there's a little bit of a narrative, there's a little bit of a storytelling going on, and that's kind of where that concept really kind of comes to the forefront on that, talking about the different levels of this hotel being progressively stranger and to keep an open mind for that. And as the song progresses, especially near the end of this song, I do like how that's mirrored. I like how the song progresses the stranger it gets right to the end, and unfortunately, even though I'm trying to keep an open mind with that end piece, I can't quite get behind it. It's just a little too weird for the sake of weird. I almost call this like a pomo, like a postmodernist, where it's just weird for the sake of being weird, as opposed to being weird to emphasize something or to bring attention to it. This was the band sitting down and saying we needed to create some weird noise for this reason, go. And I didn't quite connect with that. And then the last two songs, unfortunately, are the biggest down point on the album, The Falling and Into People. Now, I do like how it's Falling Into People as the last two tracks, and they do blend very well, but that last track of Into People, I cannot connect with at all. They're using a guitar styling that I've heard from a relatively obscured band called the High Dials. You guys should definitely check those guys out because they're fantastic. A Canadian indie band. But they use the same kind of guitar work that these guys were using there, and I feel like those bands were using it a little bit better than Isles were using it here in the last track. And so I usually end the album just after Nostalgia, and I know the music that comes after it well enough to know that I really don't want to sit through it, because there's so much better stuff that preceded it. So overall, this album was definitely a hit and miss. There are some great points on this album, but there are also some areas where the band needs to improve. And I feel like with the discography that they already have, they're on that road for really creating some great music. And I'm really excited to see what this band's got next. So overall, I have to say I'd probably stream this album if I were given the chance. I'd still want to check it out to see if it's something that were up my alley, but it's something that I would not really revisit as much as other works. But that being said, it was still an interesting time. So that's about it from Isles' latest album of Hawaii. What did you guys think? I recommend checking it out. It is something that's a good time, and it might be something that's up your alley. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Once you've had a listen, let me know by commenting down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I love hearing recommendations, so if you guys have any music that you want me to review, send it my way, and I'll do my best to review. It is a little bit hard to fit it into my busy schedule, but I'll do my absolute best. Physical CDs are definitely one way to get me listening. I've left my email address down below if you guys want to get in contact with me. So thank you guys again so much for watching. You guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.